92 million jobs. That is how many the World Economic Forum expects artificial intelligence and automation to wipe off the map by 2030. Not eventually. Not in some distant future. 5 years from now. That number sounds abstract until you realize it already started. This is not a prediction about robots taking over someday. It is a description of what is already happening inside companies you have heard of this year, this quarter. And the pattern behind it is more specific and more strange than artificial intelligence will take your job. Here is what you will actually learn. Which jobs are going first? Why the ones disappearing are not the ones most people expect. And one part of this shift that almost nobody is talking about, buried inside the same reports everyone else only skims for headlines. Keep that third one in mind. It is the part that changes how you read everything else. Let us start with the job that already disappeared. In February 2024, the Swedish fintech company Klarna announced that its artificial intelligence assistant had handled 2/3 of all customer service chats in its first month running, doing the equivalent work of about 700 full-time agents. Customer satisfaction scores, according to Klarna, did not drop. Response times got faster. This was not a pilot program tucked away in a lab. It was a live customer service department, replaced in weeks, not years. Customer service is the easy example, though. It is the one everyone already expected. But that is not the most interesting part of this story, because customer service representatives are not even in the top 5 fastest declining roles. Clerical work is. According to the World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs Report 2025, the fastest shrinking job categories in absolute numbers are things like administrative assistants, cashiers, data entry clerks, and bank tellers. Quiet jobs, not the ones that make headlines. The kind of work that keeps entire office floors running without anyone noticing it is there until it is not. And here is the thing that should worry you more than it comforts you. We have actually run this exact experiment before. The results surprised almost everyone who studied it, and it is not the reassurance it first looks like. Think about the automated teller machine. Banks started installing them in the 1970s, and by the 2000s, they were everywhere. Economists expected bank teller employment to collapse. It did not. Research by economist James Besson found that the number of bank tellers in the United States kept rising for decades after these machines spread, because they made it cheaper to open new branches, and each branch still needed a smaller staff of tellers to do things machines could not. The job did not vanish. It changed shape, and the technology quietly multiplied the number of places the job existed. So maybe this artificial intelligence shift follows the same script. Maybe the jobs do not really disappear, they just move somewhere else, the way they did with cash machines. Except this time, the pattern breaks, and it breaks in a place almost nobody is watching. The jobs artificial intelligence is reaching now are not just the routine, repetitive ones that cash machines replaced. They are the ones people spent years training for. Junior lawyers who used to review contracts and discovery documents are watching artificial intelligence systems do first-pass review in minutes instead of days. Entry-level radiology work, reading routine scans for common patterns, is increasingly handled by tools that flag anomalies faster than a first-year resident. Anthropic's own chief executive, Dario Amodei, has publicly warned that artificial intelligence could eliminate up to half of entry-level office jobs within 5 years. Not warehouse jobs, not factory jobs, office jobs, the ones that used to be the safe path. That is the next layer nobody wants to say out loud on a resume workshop stage. The traditional entry point into white-collar careers, the junior analyst, the junior coder, the junior paralegal, is exactly where the automation pressure is landing hardest, because those are the most standardized, most pattern-based tasks in any profession. The ladder is not just getting shorter. The first few rungs, the ones you need to climb onto it at all, are the ones getting removed first. Remember that third thing I told you to keep in mind, the part almost nobody talks about. Here it is. Most coverage of artificial intelligence in jobs focuses on unemployment. Will the unemployment rate spike? But projections from the International Monetary Fund suggest something different is happening. Unemployment rates are expected to stay relatively stable, while the labor force participation rate, the share of working-age people who are working or looking for work, is projected to fall from around 62.5% in 2025 to around 61% by 2030, and as low as 55% by 2050. People are not getting counted as unemployed. They are quietly leaving the labor force altogether, not fired in a headline-making layoff, just gone from the count. No spike, no crisis moment for the news to cover, just a slow leak that never shows up as a crisis because a crisis is loud, and this is not. That is the overlooked hook here. A falling unemployment rate can look like good news on a chart, even while fewer people are actually working. The two are not the same thing, and mixing them up is exactly how a structural shift gets buried inside a stable-sounding headline. Here is the sentence that reframes everything you just heard. The danger was never a wave of people losing jobs all at once. It was a slow tide of people quietly no longer needed at all. So what does someone do with all of this? Not a to-do list, just a signal, the same one the World Economic Forum's own data points toward without saying it plainly. The roles growing fastest right now are not the ones resisting artificial intelligence, they are the ones sitting closest to it. Artificial intelligence and machine learning specialists, big data roles, cybersecurity, are climbing at the same time clerical and entry-level office roles decline. The people positioning themselves well are not avoiding the disruption, they are standing inside it, doing the part of the work that still needs a person to judge, question, and decide what the model produced. If you want to keep seeing where these lines are heading before they show up in a headline, that is what this channel does, every week, before the pattern becomes obvious to everyone else. So back to that number we opened with. 92 million jobs displaced by 2030 against a backdrop of 170 million new ones created. A net gain on paper. The headline math looks fine, positive even. But headline math was never the layer that mattered. The real story is in which 92 million disappear and who they used to be. Entry-level coders, junior paralegals, clerical staff, the people just getting started, standing at the bottom of a ladder that is missing its first few rungs. 10 years from now, the question will not be whether artificial intelligence took jobs. It will be whether the ladder into a career still has enough rungs left to climb, and whether the one you are standing on is still there. That is the layer that was always there, quietly sitting inside the same reports everyone read the headline of and closed. Now you can see it. If this is the kind of pattern you want to catch before it is common knowledge, this is where that happens. Subscribe and see the next layer before everyone else does.